Lap it up, Lewis. This is what it's about. So great stuff, mate. We're going to see you up there.
Get on the mic and spit it, whether you like to admit it or hide it. Better than 90% of you rappers out there. Then you want to out and get see up these albums like, this is funny. You said the rate I'm going when I'm 30. I'll be the only person in the nurse's home 30.
Yeah, I feel really jacking.
But you're into the circuit with this whole bag of actors and circuit. I'm in every single person in Slim Shady. Working in Burger King, staying on your few things. When the fucking not circling, screaming, I don't give a fuck. When you're down in the system, for the real Shady, please stand up. One of those fingers on
Each hand up. That's tough. I need my headphones. Big charge. And my phone charge. Not phone, PlayStation controller. Still looking on a great pace. Guess who's back? Back again. Please, please, please. Please, good time. Please, good time. Please, please, please. Run. Oh, you... Who's operating? I'm Eminem. I'm not. No one in comparison. How am I doing this one-handed? No, I'm glad no one's on the stream, but speaking of Eminem, I wasn't. Wish I could go back to the house. Yeah. Yeah, little bitch. You castrated. Eminem's most timeless rapper of all time will be, because he has a billion streams in 4 consecutive. So everybody, just follow me with a little controversy. 2002 is for Eminem. In the other way, I'm doing some by Eminem. Oh. Alright, and I love it.
Car repairs have set us back a little.
Yeah, I'm not now. No, fine. Made it. Yeah. Fuck it up. Okay. Give one reason.
Okay, radio check, radio check.
Beyond screams, because nothing hits like your first time on board. Wait.
Did you know Minecraft added a new dimension? It's called Hell.
How's Venom? Oh, what the fuck? That.
Alright, let's have a quick radio check, please. Radio check.
Dun, dun, dun. Yes, dude. Yeah, I'm surprised I've been so much. Venom. I'm trying to go up. Oh my god.
And we've been pushed down to P20.
Right, awesome. I'm not strong from bro. Weak right now. Something out of my head. I wish you. I'm good man. Right. Let's fucking put some more. Such shit.
Cricket is a game that's always evolving. I mean, T20 cricket is largely viewed as the game's most popular format, and it didn't even exist 20 years ago. Even T20 cricket from 10 years ago was far more reserved than what we see now. At the forefront of this rapid evolution are players who push the bounds of the game and drive change. Glenn Maxwell is one of these players.
He's the most skillful player I've ever seen.
He's someone who's always looked ahead of his time. He played switch hits, reverse sweeps,
You stupid nut, you!
before it was even popular. And this exciting and innovative style of batting is what's made him one of the best and most sought after white ball players globally.
I think he's just single anyway. He's batting, which is not an easy position to be in because it feels like there's something happening.
And they don't call him the Big Show because he's a magician. Growing up in Kew and playing junior cricket for South Belgrave, he was not shaped as a batting prodigy in the classical sense. Early on, he was more of a bowler than a batter, a medium pacer who later shifted to off-spin, and that matters because it explains why his batting brain developed the way it did. He learned cricket from the perspective of someone trying to deceive batters rather than survive bowlers. When he broke into Victoria's setup in the 2009 and 2010 season, there was nothing immediately inevitable about superstardom. His early one-day appearances were useful rather than being explosive. But everything changed in February of 2011 in Hobart. Chasing against Tasmania in a Ryobi Cup match, Victoria were drifting until Maxwell walked in and smashed 51 off 19 balls. It was not just fast, it was violent and improvised, full of reverse sweeps, inside-out lofts, and shots that made fielders look like they'd been set in the completely wrong position.
Talking to the onside ball to Glenn Maxwell.
That innings against Tasmania remains the moment Australian cricket stopped treating him as a novelty and started looking at him as a revolutionary. In the Emerging Players Tournament, he did the same thing to the international youth sides. Against India, he made 59 of 23. Then against South Africa, he went even further with 110 of 52 balls, an innings that followed the same pattern. On the back of some dazzling innings but very little domestic experience, Maxwell was picked in Australia's squad to play Pakistan and the 2012 T20 World Cup thereafter. Chasing upside rather than safety, Australia picked a player who could win games in 15 balls. But it proved to be a bit too early for the big show. On debut in Dubai against Pakistan in 2012, he made 4 of 7, followed by 27 of 20. These splashes proved enough to earn him a spot in their World Cup 11. At the T20 World Cup in Sri Lanka later that month, it got worse though. 4 against India, 4 against Pakistan, and several matches where he didn't bat at all. A clear sign he wasn't trusted in the group. Over the next 2 years, this pattern repeated. For every explosive cameo he'd play, there'd be multiple failures. The real emergence of Maxwell as a T20 force came later, once he gained enough exposure at the top level. The 2014 T20 World Cup in Bangladesh gave the first proper glimpse. Against Pakistan, he made 74 of 33, and against the West Indies, it was 45 from 22. Innings built on brute force, but also calculation, targeting specific bowlers and refusing to play low percentage shots until the moment demanded it. He finished that tournament as Australia's second highest run scorer, and from there, his T20 role became clearer. He was trusted to break games open, to put games away, and more crucially, he had the method to do it. On the back of his World Cup success, KXIP snapped him out in the 2014 IPL season. Where previously he'd only been a bench warmer for Mumbai and Delhi, KXIP entrusted him in a main role, and Maxwell repaid their faith in buckets and spades by providing one of the most explosive seasons in the tournament's history. He scored 552 runs in 16 matches at a strike rate of 187, numbers statistically years ahead of his time, finishing as the third highest run scorer of the season and hitting 36 sixes, the most in the tournament's history. His campaign was defined by a cluster of brutal, match-changing innings, including scores of 95, 95 not out, 90, and 89, often delivered early on in the innings to seize control before bowling attacks could adjust. While he did not win the most official valuable player award, his impact was undeniable, driving Kings 11 Punjab to the final in what remains the franchise's most successful IPL campaign. Rather than being used as a late hitter, Maxwell was trusted to dominate from the start, and his fearless and calculated approach turned the 2014 season into a defining moment in his T20 career. By the time the 2015 period rolled around, Maxwell had become Australia's designated disruptor. Against England in the ODI World Cup warm-ups, he smashed 95 and took 4 wickets. Then in the proper tournament, he made 66 of 40 against England and 88 of 39 against Afghanistan. Those innings were not incidents. They followed a formula he would perfect in T20s, absorb 3 or 4 balls, then relentlessly attack bowlers once they missed their lengths. That World Cup ended with him lifting the trophy, but more importantly, it cemented his status as Australia's most dangerous white ball batter. The peak of his early T20 reputation came in September of 2016 in Kandy against Sri Lanka. Opening the batting in a T20, Maxwell blasted 145 not out of 65 balls. At the time, it was the second highest score in the T20 international history. That innings was not played on a flat pitch against a weak bowling attack. It came against the Sri Lankan attack, trying to contain him with deep fields, only to watch him lap, reverse, and loft balls into spaces that did not exist on the fielding map. That innings changed how T20 teams thought about the middle overs. Maxwell showed that spin containment could be attacked just as brutally as death bowling. Against New Zealand in the Trans-Tasman T20 series in early 2008,
I'm probably going to
Dan Maxwell made a rapid walk
do
in
some
Sydney, a reminder of
practice.
how quickly he could tilt a game when given freedom.
Let me check some.
Days later, against England in Hobart, he produced one of the most important T20 innings of his career, 103 not out from 58 balls. That 100 was not just about blind hitting. It came with Australia under pressure, and Maxwell controlled the tempo, expertly dismantling England's spin options before punishing pace at the death. He finished unbeaten, batted through the innings, and added 3 wickets for good measure. That match marked the beginning of what has become the modern Maxwell phase. Still explosive, but increasingly anchored in game awareness rather than impulse. From there, the records began to accumulate. In February 2019 against India in Bengaluru, he smashed 113 not out from 55 balls, becoming the first Australian man to score 3 T20 international centuries. That detail matters. T20 hundreds are rare, not because players lack power, but because few are trusted to bat long enough to reach them.
I think so.
Maxwell did it while batting in impact positions, often at 4 or 5, where dismissal is expected.
And finishing it in some.
From 2020 to 2022, his international output collapsed, and his best days at the top level seemed behind him. 111 runs in 2020, 157 in 2021, and 315 in 2022, with averages hovering around the high teens and strike rates dropping to the low 130s. Opposition seemed to have figured Maxwell out, and they were just waiting him out. His magic seemed to be fading. Despite his international failures, though, signs of a turnaround were already visible before the 2023 ODI World Cup. He started to light it up again in franchise cricket. In the Big Bash, Glenn Maxwell re-established himself as one of the competition's most reliable matchwinners, averaging comfortably above 40 across multiple seasons for the Stars and striking constantly around the 180 mark. The defining moment was scored with 154 not out against the Hobart Hurricanes in the 2021-2022
Oh, that
season.
was unbelievable.
But it was backed up by repeat impact knocks, 70s and 80s, that either finished chases or turned winning totals into winning ones, showing that his BBL output was no longer boom or bust, but sustained dominance. Then, after having been almost invisible in the IPL since that 2014 season, his revival came with the Royal Challengers Bangalore in 2021. He finished as RCB's leading run scorer with over 500 runs, playing a critical middle order role rather than pure chaos batting. That form returned again in 2023, where he made 400 runs and strike rate above 180,
Yeah, it's not Jen.
including multiple 50s. This domestic U-turn pumped him full of confidence heading into the 2023 World Cup. Against the Netherlands at the World Cup, he blasted 106 or 44 balls, the fastest century in World Cup history. That alone would have defined many careers. But a month later, against Afghanistan, he produced an innings that transcended the format. Coming in at number 6, with the chase collapsing, he made 201 not out.
Unbelievable!
Boundary bursts and walking singles. That knock was not just power, it was problem solving under physical failure.
Right.
It reinforced everything that makes
Restart and give me like 10
T20
seconds,
cricket.
yes.
Creativity under pressure, decision making at extreme speed, and the refusal to concede defeat.
Unbelievable. The most remarkable thing you'll probably ever see in cricket. Staggering.
In November
Absolute
2023 against India,
mind-blowing.
he smashed 104 not out of 48 balls in Guwahati while chasing over 220. In early 2024, he followed that with 120 not out of 55 balls against the West Indies in Adelaide. That innings pushed him level with Rohit Sharma on 5 T20 international centuries, with the most important caveat being that most of Maxwell's hundreds come while chasing, when margin for error is the smallest. His 2024 T20 international numbers reflect the resurgence. 389 runs at a strike rate near 167, re-establishing himself as one of Australia's most dangerous middle order options heading into another World Cup cycle. The deeper truth of Maxwell's career sits in the data in high-caliber games. His yearly T20 international averages swing wildly. His IPL seasons oscillate between dominance and collapse. That inconsistency has always made it difficult to evaluate because consistency is such a large part of cricketing greatness. Since 2023, he's once again struggled for consistency, and he's again gone sleepy in both international cricket and the IPL. In international T20s, he's only scored 250s, and in the 2024 IPL, he only managed a mere 52 runs in 9 innings and 48 runs in 6 innings in 2025. But T20 cricket is not about safety, it's about damage.
Batting back, which is not an easy position to be because it feels like there's something happening
Maxwell's career taken as a whole shows a player who repeatedly changes matches rather than stabilizes them, and his teams understand that, which is why Maxwell, even an out-of-form Maxwell, is always one of the first names on a team sheet because his propensity for brilliance is there. Remember though, Maxwell's value is always extended beyond his runs. This also gives captains tactical flexibility because he can bowl anywhere, at the top or at the death. Remember, he's been picked in Test cricket as an all-rounder before. He's no slouch. In T20 cricket, he bowls according to matchups and often delivers in critical moments. His fielding adds another layer entirely, saving boundaries, creating run-outs, and producing momentum-shifting catches in high-pressure moments. In a
I don't understand how he does this
those
catch.
contributions matter. That is why, even when the runs pause, Maxwell never truly leaves the game. As he approaches another T20 World Cup, Maxwell's legacy is already secure. He's played in more T20 internationals than any other Australian and has scored more T20 international centuries than anyone else. The story of Glenn Maxwell in T20 cricket is not about consistency in the traditional sense. It's about repeatability of match-winning destruction. When he gets it right, games bend around him, and there's no one else you'd rather have in your side than Glenn Maxwell.
Be my baby. Really? Yes. I'm tired and hungry, man. My stomach's just like.
Flores is one of the best players in the entire
Yeah,
world, but the question is, can he win in a game where...
In today's video, Toby and I are going head-to-head in a cheap versus expensive cricket bat challenge. We've each got a budget to stick to, we'll pick our bats and open the bats together in an actual game, and whoever scores the most runs wins.
Yeah, it is our last cricket England game of the summer, this time next week. On Friday, we set ourselves a challenge.
We have indeed. We're going to do a cheap versus expensive bats challenge, opening the batting together, and our producers have set our budgets. Let's find out what they are.